A black woman received a $385 ticket for talking loudly while on the phone while she was walking up and down the street that she lives on. Let's talk about it on today's Roast This Post.
Yeah, Diamond Robinson first met her neighbor who accused her of being too loud today. And, Diamond and I were talking. We both have loud voices that carry, but she really didn't think that she was talking so loud that the police should be called.
I love that the news anchor isn't even trying to come off as unbiased. She opened up saying,
Diamond and I were talking. We both have loud voices that carry.
Basically saying, yeah, I'm loud every day, but for some reason, nobody seems to care.
Diamond Robinson says she was just walking up and down Cushing Street, the street she lives on in East Point, talking on her phone on Thursday when she says one of her neighbors approached her.
Do you think that you can get off your phone or talk lower? One of those things that she said. And I said, get out of my face. And I proceeded to walk past her. So she's saying whatever she's saying. 3 minutes later, East Point police pulls up.
I love this so much. This is my favorite part.
And I said, get out of my face.
Too often, the world bends over backwards to make white people comfy as possible in all situations. And today, this woman was not having it.
Diamond started doing a Facebook Live video.
And I hope you know that this is all being recorded.
The woman who called the police just moved to the neighborhood a couple of weeks ago, according to Diamond, and she is white. That's an important part of the story because Diamond thinks she's being targeted because she's black.
Is that a wrong assumption to make? Rebecca, the lady who called the police, has only lived on that street for 2 weeks and she's already acting like she runs things. I've lived at my apartment for more than 2 years and I haven't talked to anyone.
I'm not doing anything wrong by walking up and down the street talking on my phone.
But as Diamond continues to record, the police officers end up writing her a ticket.
A ticket for being a public nuisance because I'm talking too loud on my phone. That's why I got a ticket.
It's also illegal for a police officer to open a mailbox and put a ticket inside of it. And I know some of you are going to say that's just me being petty, but it's not pettier than someone getting a $400 ticket for talking loudly on the phone.
And that ticket isn't cheap, $385.
There is no way that the police should be called on me when I am on my own property, in my own neighborhood, on my own block.
Diamond plans to fight the ticket, and because she's so upset about the whole ordeal, she's now having security cameras installed outside her home. As far as blasting everything on Facebook Live, she says she felt like she had no other choice.
A lot of these things are being pushed under the rug and it doesn't need to. We can sit here all day, we can chant, we can riot, we can do all of those things that is not going to make a change if you don't speak up at that time and at that moment.
Her message to the neighbor who called the police?
Leave me alone. What's going on? Are you upset? What did I do to you?
Okay, so we did get a chance to talk to the neighbor very briefly. She did not want to talk about the issue, but she said that the ticket speaks for itself.
The ticket does speak for itself. It shows which side the police are on.
Meanwhile, we stopped by the police department. They didn't want to talk either.
Exactly.
But I said to the supervising officer, I said, $385, it seems like a very hefty fine. He said, well, she will have her day in court.
With a racist judge, most likely. What amazes me about this story is just what situations white people are willing to call the police over. I mean, you have black people like Dave Chappelle pointing out not feeling comfortable calling the police when someone breaks into his home.
They never believe I lived it. He's still here.
Meanwhile, white people are willing to call the police because someone was talking too loudly on the sidewalk? If black people had the support of the police to just call them anytime they were annoyed by a white person, the phones would be ringing off the hook. If you don't want loud neighbors, you gotta be rich enough to have a yard big enough that your neighbors are gonna be too far away to hear you. And if you're not rich, you gotta suck it up and accept the fact that you might not like how loud your neighbors are. The lady across the hall from me sings karaoke all the time at like 8 in the morning. And that's what I'm paying for. Also, I found out that Rebecca, the neighbor who called the police on Diamond, claims to not want her face or house on the news because she fears for her life and she claims to have a restraining order on someone. I don't know, if you don't want attention, why are you calling the police because you couldn't turn up your TV a little louder? Invest in some noise-canceling headphones. I really thought that this was the type of news story that would be easy for everybody to see where everyone was coming from. Which is why it's amazing to me to see so many people in the comment section see only one side of it. Racist comments like, "She looks loud," or the standard, "Obviously something else happened. I mean, the police don't just give out tickets for no reason." What? Have you heard of the police? They'll give you a ticket if you remind them of somebody they don't like. Look, obviously, I can't prove that this issue is race-related, but what I can do is tell you a story about me specifically. I was once having a college party, and a lot of people came over. It was very loud. Almost everybody was illegally consuming alcohol underage. So the police knock on our door. I see them through the peephole. Me and a white friend of mine, we talk to the police officer outside of our apartment. He asks us if we can turn it down. We say yes. They go home. That was it. I know it seems like I skipped part of the story, but that's the story. He just asked if we could turn it down, and it was a kids can be kids moment. My best guess is that there are a lot more black people who would hear that story and feel like it might have went a little different if that happened to them in that scenario. In conclusion, even if you have the right to be upset, even if the other person is in the wrong, white people, we have to think about the consequences of our actions and realize that calling the police because of a mild inconvenience of ours might have bigger negative consequences if the person you are calling the police on is black. Thank you all for watching. Want to check out the extended version of this video or other Roast This Post videos and watch exclusive clips of my stand-up comedy? Check out my Patreon by going to patreon.com/JeffHorste. And make sure you follow me at Jeff Horste on all social media. If black people had the support of the police to just call them anytime they were annoyed by a white person, the phones would be ringing off the hook.